Expedition 33 still blows me away with how many secrets it still throws at you if you're just going out there to explore. That is why today we're going to take a look at even more of them that you likely missed. Of course, another spoilers warning ahead, as we are going to talk about stuff that happens after Act 3. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So let's get started with the Manor, because this is absolutely filled to the brim with secrets, and some of them relate to your tints, basically your consumable healing, energy and revive potions, which if you want to fully max out, you are going to need special shape items, not just regular tint shards, to bring them to their strongest potential, which in this case will massively buff them. So for example, your healing version will now heal your characters to 100% HP. The energy version will now give you 7 AP instead of just 3. And the revive variant will also be much stronger. But for that, you're now going to need those shapes. And there are 6 shapes in total. 2 of them you can get from some of the early on bosses. So the first shape of health is dropped by Globu at the end of the Flying Waters area. Meanwhile, for the first shape of life, you're going to get it by defeating the Lamp Master on your first visit at the end of the Stone Wave Caverns. For the remaining 4, we're going to need to check out some secret rooms inside of the Manor. However, in this video, I'm going to show you every single secret inside of this really cool location. From this point on, once you hit the Gestural Village, you're going to have another occasion to go inside. So from the entrance, just keep it to the right side and basically make your way from the same path as I am. Eventually, you should see a sign that says keep out. Just progress past it and you should find the entrance to the kitchen area of the Manor right behind it. From this point on, we're going to need to activate the area below. So here's what we need to do. Go ahead and first activate the statue, then the frying pan right across it, and then we're going to cross by to the last table over here and activate the candle holder. And this is now going to activate the area below, in which we can just go ahead and jump into. And from this point on, we're just going to make our way inside of the cellar of the kitchen, and we're going to find the next energy shape right here by the staircase. You're just gonna have to break some boxes before you can grab it. Now, if you also want some extra rewards over here, what you can do before actually going up the stairs is to instead go beneath this broken wall over here and also check the next set of stairs, which is going to give you a pretty cool hair for Mael. You can go ahead and check it out. I think it looks pretty nice, but from this point on, you're pretty much done. And from this point on, you're pretty much good to go. You can go back at the kitchen area and just open the door so that you can have access to the Manor once again. For the second energy tint, it's actually very easy. Once you got Esque flying or swimming, you can just go right here to this island on the continent a bit east from the nearby Endless Tower. And you should see the entrance right here on the shoreline. Go ahead inside and this is going to bring you to the study area, and what you can do is just make your way at the top of the circular stairs. And from this point on, pay attention to this platform here in the back, as this is what you're going to use to jump over this puzzle and make your way towards the bookshelf with the item behind. In this case, this is what's going to give you that second shape of energy. But don't leave the area just yet. Instead, head over back at the top of the same staircase and now pay attention to this bookshelf over here and activate the secret door using the button prompt. This is going to reveal a secret room in which you're going to find a really cool outfit. This is the civilian outfit for Verso. There are a few other outfits for other characters in the same style, but I think it looks pretty unique and you can go ahead and just equip it right away. Once you're done with this, you can go ahead and open the other 2 doors over here, including the one that brings you at the bottom floor entrance of the Manor. And this is what we're going to use to basically go to the next area. So from this location, we're going to go up this set of main stairs and then up the ones to the left. And then we're going to go up again to the right and pay attention to this painting here to our left. Basically, this is something we can just go ahead and enter through. So we're going to go ahead, jump through it. And this is going to bring us to another secret entrance right here, which is going to give us the next shape, this time around of life. So we can also max out our life tint. And also take a look at some of these really cool paintings over here. It seems that somebody has an obsession with puppies, I guess. But once you're done with this, you can just go ahead and max out your revive tint as well, assuming that you got all of the tint shards up until this point as well. The only other shape remaining is the shape of health, the second one, which you're going to find a little bit later in the game. Basically, once you get to hit Siran, right here up northeast on the map, eventually you should make your way towards an underground tunnel right before one of the end boss encounters over here, and you're going to reach this sort of junction. But instead of going to the left side, you're going to want to keep it to the right, where you should encounter this very easy to see entrance towards another manor room. This time around, you're going to be brought into one of the many bathrooms that the manor has, but you're going to want to pay attention right here to the mirror before you exit, because this is breakable, so if you just shoot it once, you can just go ahead and jump through it. Make your way all the way at the bottom by jumping down, and now you can go ahead and retrieve the second and final shape of health. And with this, you should be now capable of maxing out every single tint in the game, which, like I said, gives you all of those bonuses. In my case, that revive tint initially got bugged, but I did eventually manage to get all of them maxed out to the strong quality. So very strong options, and like I said, very helpful if you eventually jump into New Game Plus. Now, if you want to go ahead and discover all of the other secret rooms, you definitely can from each respective map. So let me show you how to do that. There isn't an achievement, however, there are going to be extra rewards from it. So on your next occasion, visiting the Tide Caverns in the Stone Wave Cliffs, what you can do is just make your way here at the bottom and keep it to the right side, basically right towards the secret boss in the area at the bottom of the pit. So in this case, I defeated it. You're going to go past it, and you're going to find the entrance towards the manor once again, this time around bringing you towards some closets. Here you can interact with Sciel, and she's going to get a very cool outfit that you can go ahead and just equip right away, kind of giving those Alice in Wonderland vibes right away. The next one will be at the Manor Garden flag in Old Lumiere. If you pay attention to this broken wall, you should see that entrance towards the manor right behind over here. So if you go inside, you should be brought in this very luxurious bathroom over here, with a bunch of items you can go ahead and grab inside, including one of these songs, as well as another expedition that you can go ahead and clear right away. For our 7th room, we're gonna find it in the Anger Vale right here at Visage's map. Basically, from the waypoint, you're just gonna make your way downwards, keeping it to the right side up until you reach this cave. And if you just progress forward, you should eventually see the door right in front of you. Go inside, and this is yet again going to bring you inside one of the rooms, in which you're going to go ahead and grab another song from the area piano in front of you. Plus, if you go into the nearby bedroom, you should find another expedition journal right here. For the 9th secret area, we can find it on any visit to the manor by heading over towards the main dining hall, and right here, very close to this nearby fireplace, we should see a small gap that's currently closed off. So we're going to need to activate some of these switches to actually reveal it. And you can go ahead and activate the first one, which is already going to move the obstacle quite a little bit. But from this point on, we're going to make our way right here, going to the right side, and eventually right across, we should see another one that we can activate on this wall. Meanwhile, for the 3rd switch, we're going to just cross to the opposite section and pay attention to this final pillar right here. This is going to hold another switch we can activate. And from this point on, there's only one more. Going across once again, we should again see the final switch right here on the wall. Once all of the 4 switches have been activated, you can head over through the gap and make your way inside of the secret room over here with a bunch of paintings. This is only going to give you one of these records you can then tune back at your music box. For room number 10, this is likely going to be very late into the game once you go to the monolith, and specifically the Tainted Battlefield waypoint. You're just going to want to make your way across the bridge and eventually ignore all of the enemies to progress into the next area. This eventually should bring you right here, very close to this grave, and what you can do is keep it to the left inside this really cool quartz cavern. And inside of it, you should see this door opening that brings you inside the manor once again. Now, unfortunately, I already collected the items over here, but the first one was pretty much right in front over here once I spawned in. And for the second one, you should be able to finding it by just heading down the stairs before you unlock the entrance towards the manor. It should be somewhere around here, giving you another expedition journal. For the next room, we're going to find it at the Falling Leaves right here on this side of the map, further north from the Endless Tower. If you head over from the Resin Vale Grove waypoint, what you can do is keep it here to the right and just progress downwards, taking all of these ropes all the way at the bottom. Eventually, you should find a cavern that kind of has this hanging sap lady. So this is your point of interest. From this point on, keep it to the left once again. You should see the entrance right in front of you. And if you go here, you should find another one of those studies with a bunch of more items you can go ahead and retrieve. As far as I remember, the only thing I got from this was another musical record. Moving on to the next room, we have the one in Glacial Falls, Frozen Hearts on this side of the map. But if you start from the flag in the area, you can just keep it to the right and take this path upwards until we eventually reach a cavern. So just jump across when you have the option to, and then again keep it to the right. Eventually you should see a cavern over here with a boss. So go down the rope, ignore the boss if you can, and you should see the entrance right in front of you right here. Inside, you're going to find another one of those musical records and nothing else as far as I'm aware. For the next one, we're going to need to retrieve a painting right here northwest on the map in a place called the canvas. You just have to go inside, and if you progress further into the back, you should see the first canvas right in front of you with the whole family. And the thing about this is that this is going to fit back at one of the empty canvases at the start of the manor. So make your way using any of the entrances from before and just bring it right here in this empty canvas. Doing so will now also unlock the room that was previously locked just behind of the dining hall. So head over there, go inside, and you're going to find a couple of items. One is another expedition journal, but if you pay attention here in one of the corners of the room, you can get a really cool outfit for Sciel. In this case, it looks something like this. I think it's pretty nice. It's called the Painted Me, and it kind of has this really cool black and white vibe. Another one on the continent accessible via flying is found here on this very eastern point on the map. So pretty much you're gonna need flying to reach this location, but you should see the entrance right by the beach line. In this case, all you have to do is open up this set of doors that brings you to a hidden room over here with another musical record, but as far as I'm seeing, this is the only thing that you get. Which brings us to the final Manor secret room entrance that you can find here in the Reacher, which is one of the main areas you get to go to if you also follow Sciel's relationship guide from before. But in this case, you're going to want to make your way all the way at the ladder area flag from here. And before you progress into the next zone, you can just backtrack a little bit. Go here to the right once again and look below. You should see the entrance to the manor once again. So jump down, ignore all enemies, and just go inside. As far as I was able to tell, the only thing I got from this was another one of those expedition records if you want to fully max out everything. Now, since we are on the subject of manors, another one that you want to check out is the flying manor that you're going to find right here on this side of the map. You are going to need the flying SQA as this is going to be on an island, but this is going to give you a ton of rewards. There are many weapons, Pictos over here. It's also part, of course, of the relationship guide for Sciel, and you also get a really cool haircut for her, plus a very epic boss encounter that I don't really want to spoil. However, I'm going to show you how to unlock everything here, because once you get here, you will see that there are 4 of these bosses encased that you need to actually bring color to so that you can open the final door for the final encounter. So for this, you're going to need to find all of those 4 bosses respectively in each of the 4 locations. You're going to reach these areas in each of the 4 corners of the platform you're on right now. So in this case, going over there, defeating said bosses will bring that light color back to the main cases and eventually open the door. And once you defeat each boss in each area, you can just talk to the faceless boy to get teleported back to the main arena. But in this case, what I recommend doing is always paying attention to everything around in each of the specific zones, because you're going to find a lot of bonus encounters and bosses that you can go ahead and fight against. In fact, it's not just getting new weapons, you also get existing weapons, and Pictos massively leveled up over here, assuming that you already got their lower level version. So going from like level 10 to 28, which is a massive boost over there. Also, on a side note, you can also get a free level for Chation over here, one of the best weapons in the game for Sciel, by just defeating the crueler over here downwards this path inside of this sort of cathedral location. So if you go here behind the main boss in the area, you're going to find this smaller boss over here that you can go ahead and defeat. And if you already got the Chation, it's now going to get upgraded all the way to level 28, which is actually pretty nice because you no longer have to spend as much of those catalysts to upgrade them. By the way, for the lower level version, if you want to get that first, you have already gotten that probably from the Stone Wave Cliffs. One of the enemies in the area that you defeated over there already gave that to you, the level 7, which should have already been in your inventory. But once you're done with all of these, what you can do is go ahead and unlock the main door, which will now be fully accessible. I'm not going to show you the boss encounter, however, I will show you the rewards. One is the Clea's Life Pictos. On turn start, if no damage taken since last turn, you recover 100% HP, which is absolutely overpowered. It's one of the best in the game, and it works so great with many of the one-shots build, and especially ones that have you sacrifice HP. Another one is that you also get a really cool outfit option, which is basically by just talking to the NPC over here, and this is going to give you one outfit depending on the character that you pick it on. So this is only once per playthrough, by the way. If you want it for some of the other characters, you will need to start another playthrough and get it again. But the Clea's outfit in this case, I think, looks really nice. Of course, only available for your female companions. And while we are on the subject of outfits, another cool one you guys asked me about was this Pelerin outfit for Verso, which basically gives you all of those really cool fire/lava effects. You can basically get this from this location right here called Frozen Hearts by going at the Iced Heart flag waypoint. From here, you just have to make use of the collapsed train to make your way upwards and essentially go into the back of the area. Eventually, you should see a junction over here that you can use, and you're going to want to keep it to the left here, also using the grappling point to reach the nearby vendor. And this is going to sell you the Pelerin for 20,000 and also the Danseuse version for Sciel this time around for 10,000, which you can go ahead and purchase right away. I think that they both look really cool, and like we already covered before, we got the Danseuse version for Lune as well by defeating the Navron in the area. So looking really cool, really nice. Go ahead and grab them. Which brings us to the final point, and that's the New Game Plus. We're going to check out all of the biggest changes that you're going to get from it. Like I said from the previous video, go ahead and only enter New Game Plus once you finished everything in the previous run. But even if you do, don't worry, you can just scroll down the save files and load back a previous save. But in this case, you get to continue pretty much with everything you had left in terms of progressions, all the weapon unlocks, Pictos, even the number of, in this case, Lumina power that you had on Verso will transfer to Gustav, and then will be back again when you reach that stage again. So you can pretty much continue where you left off. You just have to invest points into your skills to unlock them once again for Gustav, which also kind of gives you some really interesting, of course, interactions over here since the build is not fully finalized. Besides that, you also get to play with literally every character from the start. It's very eerie to see, for example, Monaco in Old Lumiere over here, or for example, going with Lune and looking at herself playing the guitar, which is really interesting. But it does give you the chance to grab anything that you have missed in your first run. For example, there were many missable items and cool cosmetics in the prologue that you could go ahead and get. If you missed those, you can go ahead and have a chance once again. Good to note over here is that for some reason, Gustav's cosmetics reset back to base. So for example, despite defeating these encounters or finding those cosmetics for Gustav before, for some of them I had to go ahead and redo them in New Game Plus to grab them once again, which is a bummer, I guess, but it kind of makes sense. What you do lose though is pretty much anything in terms of the expedition journals that you have discovered. Those will have to be rediscovered again. Also, the painted power to destroy these painted spikes over here will be gone, because you're now going to need to refine the lost gestrals once again. And similarly, you're going to have to redo the gestral side quest as well for all of the 9+ that are in the game if you want to get those secret powers. Plus, of course, all of the music unlocks that you had before will also be gone from the looks of it. At least they were in my case. But you do get a ton of advantages, because pretty much you can now level up for free every single remaining weapon or Pictos, assuming that you already got it in the previous runs. For example, you will see a lot of them jumping from level 1 to like 21 and whatnot, or low level to 21+, which is really nice, because this means you have much better versions of them from this point on, progressively making you better in the New Game Plus run. And also because enemies in this will be stronger than their default version in the previous run. Plus, you also get to play with all of your characters in your party right from the get-go, even if you didn't unlock them right away from the main story, with the exception of the prologue. From the first map and onwards, you can go ahead and use them all in parties, which is really nice. This just lets you use your strongest builds right away. Oh, and on a final note, since I did talk about those unpainted Navrons and their side quest, I went ahead and tried to defeat Blanchet this time around, since I obviously had the damage. And once again, the game proved to me that it's completely not worth it. The only thing I got from it was 10 Color of Lumina and a couple of Grandiose Chroma Catalysts, which I had over 100 at this point. They are so common, and especially you're gonna get even more in New Game Plus. So not worth it. Save and help the unfinished Navrons to get the best rewards out there. And yeah, that's pretty much it with the video. Let me know down below if there's anything else that you found really cool that we haven't covered before, and I will see you guys in the next video.